As winter wraps the world in a blanket of sparkling snow, it invites us to pause, to breathe. The stillness becomes our canvas that our imaginations can paint the most vibrant scenes. It's a time to dream, to create, and to let the beauty of our thoughts sparkle. Today is a really cold day outside, so I'm actually not gonna leave my house. But I think it's a perfect opportunity to show you how I tell my stories using Blender to visualize my thoughts. I'm gonna tell you a story, but first we have to make it. So let's get started by deleting the cube and add a cylinder, which we are gonna make our machine of. Just some basic extrude, top and bottom. Then I'm gonna extrude these selected pieces because I want these areas to be transparent glass. So I'm gonna select these and I'm gonna separate them to make it more easy. Then it's just about finishing the machine. So we're gonna extrude upwards and downwards, and I think I'm gonna make some sort of light coming from under here. So I'm gonna add a loop cut under here and add a emission material. Then I'm gonna extrude the bottom, scale it a little bit, and then I'm gonna add a subdivision modifier to smooth it out. So now I'm pretty happy with the design, so now we need some materials. So let's go into the shading tab and we're gonna create a new one. Select your principal shader, and if you have Node Wrangler, all you have to do is press Shift Control T and select your texture and it will add it for you. Then we need to unwrap our machine here, and it doesn't look real good, so we have to add some seams so we can unwrap this in a better way. So let's see how this works. It's a lot better, I think. So now we're gonna look this in the rendered view. So I'm adding a plane just for reference. And it looks pretty good. We're gonna adjust the glass a little bit. Adjusting roughness is like you can have frosted glass or you can have clear glass. I want almost clear glass, but not really. The idea here is I'm gonna add some fog inside. There will be an atmosphere in it, and with that I need a light so that it creates some light streaks inside. So let's add a light. Point light will be great. And I'll move it so it doesn't show. So I'm testing how bright I want it. For some reason the emission isn't there, so I need to add it again. And this happens when you have two materials on the same object. You need to select it in the edit mode and assign the material to each selection. So we need some control box. We need to open this or operating this. So we need some sort of control box here. And I think I want something that I can like open a door with my hand. So it's gonna be some kind of scanner. So I make just an ordinary cube, bevel the edges, put some material on it, and make some Bezier curves as brackets. I need to unwrap these two, put the material on them. Looks okay, I think. Actually, I think I really need a better material to make it a little more dangerous, a little more interesting. So I'm adding this warning texture at the top and the bottom. Let's see how that works out. Next up, I want this covered in some kind of sheet, so I make a plane, I subdivide it a couple of times and put a cloth on it. And it works. I think it works. So this is in the render view. I added some boxes. This is supposed to be in the basement or the attic. I haven't made up my mind yet. So, but it's some sort of storage. So I'm gonna add more details to this. So now I've added a little stuff here, and now I'm finding my camera angles, how I want it to be, how I picture it in my mind. Sometimes it changes. So and this is scene number 2 where I have pulled off the sheet. So you know, it's always good to move around. I can choose whatever camera angle, I can fix stuff, I can move stuff, I can put some light on some stuff that I want to show or I want to hide. I can, you know, there's so many options here. So this usually takes a while. Sometimes the outcome is better than I thought because I find a new angle when I was testing around. Another thing I wanted to add was some sort of symbols on the touchpad or a scanner here. So I made a transparent PNG in Photoshop and I can shrink wrap it right on the panel here. A very common mistake people do is to put a lot of energy on the whole scene, and it kind of sounds bad, but stuff that doesn't show, that's not in your camera view, don't put too much energy on those things because they won't show. If you want a large scene with lots of stuff you're gonna go around and you make a whole series of fine, that's not a story. But if you're making one camera angle, one scene, one photo, don't spend too much time on the things that you don't see. It's pointless. Here I'm just adding 2 lights, a green one and a red one. You know, I want to be locked, red. No one comes in here without figuring out the code. After editing the renders in Photoshop, adding myself some atmospheric lighting and a camera raw filter. We are finally ready to begin our story. It was just another ordinary Friday night, and I had just realized that I was out of my strawberry jam. Just my ordinary luck, I guess. So I went down to my basement to look for another jar of jammy. When I was browsing through the ordinary pile of junk, I suddenly stumbled across something weird. Some sort of light was shining through a filthy sheet. Was that blood stains? I pulled the sheet off in a swift, determined move. Holy crap! What is this thing? I tried to look through the glass, but I didn't see anything extraordinary. But on the outside, I found this little box. And I just had to push it. I could feel it tickling my fingers. Suddenly, I found myself inside the machine, and it seems like there's no way to get out. And I guess this is where the adventure begins. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next video.